The purpose of this resource is to provide guidance for utilizing scaffolds that are embedded in your EL Education District curriculum. Scaffolding is an instructional method that progressively moves students toward greater independence and understanding during the learning process. It's a temporary support that acknowledges what students already know, the barriers they will face in achieving new learning goals, and the instructional support that will benefit them in negotiating those barriers. Throughout this learning opportunity, we'll focus on examples of scaffolds that already exist within the EL education lessons, using Lesson 8 from Grade 5, Module 2, Unit 2. An EL Education Scaffold Overview document for elementary ELA grades 2 through 5 can be found in Learning Central under the appendix within each grade level module and in the teacher planning tools for your grade level curriculum. Please refer to this document for additional supports as you plan. The lesson components on this slide are where you can locate embedded scaffolds within lessons and will be highlighted throughout this presentation. In Lesson 8, students will work with a partner to write an introduction to a literary analysis. They will then read aloud an excerpt of The Most Beautiful Roof in the World with accuracy and fluency. Note that students may need additional support with this lesson. They should continue to work with a partner for peer support. Some may require support in writing their introductions. Consider grouping those students together to receive additional support as they write. In this lesson, students begin by analyzing the introduction of the model essay to generate criteria for the introduction to their own literary analysis essay. Students then work in pairs to plan an introduction and write the introduction to their literary analysis as a class. It's important that students understand the purpose of writing a literary analysis. Ensure students understand that analyzing literature can help them to write stronger narratives. Explain also that a literary analysis is a form of academic writing, something they will continue to do in high school and in college. Although students plan their essay in pairs, each student writes his or her own essay. At the end of the lesson, students practice reading aloud another excerpt from The Most Beautiful Roof in the World in preparation for the reading fluency assessment required as part of the end of Unit 2 assessment. The universal design for learning is a way of thinking about teaching and learning that helps give all students an equal opportunity. Some students may need additional support writing. Allow them to orally plan their introduction with their partner before writing. To enable students to synthesize a large amount of information as they write, allow differentiated methods for writing their introduction paragraph. For example, invite students to use colored pencils to paint the different sentences as part of the checklist criteria. This will visually reinforce the key components of the introductory paragraph. Another scaffold would be to provide paper that has an empty box for sketching an idea before writing. Help students manage their frustration during writing by offering a list of options they can take if they don't know what to do. This list could include reference the anchor chart, ask an elbow partner, look up my note catcher, etc. Review the terms concrete language and sensory detail from previous lessons earlier in the unit. If you made visual representations of these terms, refer to those visuals. Use the total participation technique described in the teacher guide to analyze the model introduction as a class. Allow students to think, pair, share. Provide visual representations of each part of the introduction on the anchor chart. Introduction could be represented by maybe a person with a microphone. Focus statement could be represented by two eyes. Have students take out their graphic organizers for writing concrete language and sensory details, and allow students to paint the introduction using the same format as in Lesson 7. Some students may need a simpler format of the informative writing checklist with less words and different vocabulary. Here is one example. As you read the excerpt from page 37, draw arcs under the phrases to signal appropriate pauses in the text. Give students the choice to focus on only one or two of the criteria on the anchor chart. Reading fluency is best practiced on text that is at or below independent reading level. For students whose independent reading levels are below this excerpt, allow them to use a different text. Scaffolding is an instructional method that progressively moves students toward greater independence and understanding. Refer to the EL Education Scaffold Overview for grades 2 through 5 for additional resources that may provide further support when planning for and implementing instruction. As a reminder, additional resources and professional learning videos can be found in Learning Central under the appendix within each grade level module and in the teacher planning tools. If you need more assistance with differentiating scaffolding lessons, you may wish to reach out to the experts in your building, the SL teacher, the special education specialist, the intervention team facilitator, or contact the central office coordinating team teachers assigned to your school for support.